All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to jump right in here with something that I wanted to share about communication in the different groups. I know we have lots of different groups for different purposes, and some of you are in, a lot of them, which is usually a good indication. It means you're in multiple rotators or something like that, or maybe you're in my left leg and I communicate great, positive stuff to you specifically, or my right leg, etc. Like if you're in lots of groups, it's usually a good indication. I mean, that's to your advantage. At the same time, you're going to have to pay attention to what the group is that you're in and make sure the communication is specific to that group, because not everybody that's in one group is necessarily in another. And so, for example, in our predictable, or what do we call it? The lead source group, I think we call it predictable system lead generation. You might want to have a cheat sheet and write down the names of the groups that you're in as you see yourself, in them and coming across the conversations. Write down the names of them. And if you don't know what they're for, then ask me and then make sure that you're on top of that. Because if you ask a question in the wrong group, you're going to confuse the heck out of everybody in that group. And it's just an example. A conversation had started from lots of people. Like I'm not pinpointing any particular person. That's irrelevant. Like it's not what I mean. But in the new lead source, we call it predictable system lead generation group, chat group, which consists of those that are participating in the new lead source. Somebody asked, what time is the session today? Is there a session today? And it's like, well, for that chat group, there isn't. We had a session with them yesterday, specific to that topic, the new lead source. This session that we're on now is for the 10 Upline Rotators group. And again, not everybody's in that. So we don't even want to talk about that somewhere else. Particularly because people joining now will never be able to be in this group. So make sure that you know what group you're in when you're talking about something or asking a question. Make sure it's specific to that group and it makes sense, or we're going to confuse a lot of people. It's almost impossible to even explain to somebody who's not in the 10 Upline Rotator group what it is, because that's what's going to happen. Someone asks a question like that and I go, oh yeah, that's for the 10 Upline Rotator group. And then someone's like, well, what's the 10 Upline Rotator group? And then someone goes, oh, well, that's blah, 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 blah. It becomes a mess. So let's make sure the conversations and questions are specific to the topic of the group that you're asking them in, to the best of your ability. That'll help a lot. So, okay, let's go ahead and turn to the topic of the day. We're just moving into this. The 10 Upline Marketing Rotator Group is a long-term and middle range strategy that, excuse me, is designed to two things: to create communication between the serious long-term players, and to give me an opportunity to work, specific with a group of people who are committed long-term, regardless of their skill level, whether they're highly skilled or they don't have a clue what they're doing and maybe have no confidence, and you find yourself in here and you're completely uncertain. Wherever you're at on that range is irrelevant. That's what's cool about this group. It gave all of the early participants an opportunity to collectively work together, and for me to serve you long term, for us to work together to have upline, 10 upline, helping an individual drive down growth in their second leg. Again, nothing immediate that's exciting, but long term, it's a cumulative. It can help you find someone like me, or a business builder, or a Nina, or a Robert Hollis. And guys, there are so many of them out there, it's ridiculous. If you vibe high, you're going to find them. So that's huge. Long-term, getting help on that second leg with pre-enrollees dropping in. And B, it's a place for me to focus on marketing development for those in this group, because as you guys get better at marketing or connecting, one or the other, and hopefully both, then your income goes up. And as the incomes go up of those in this group, 10% of the income that they're making from HempWorks is allocated to the rotator. So that's just going to drive down the second legs of the other people, which helps everyone's income go up. And that creates stability and income increase for everybody. And so two really powerful things. A, just the concept of helping people get plugged into the rotators themselves to get help on their second legs. And B, connecting with me and working together to improve your marketing so you can make more money, so you can help more people build their second leg. Okay, so with all that said, you know, where we're really at right now is people are reaching out. You know, this is really a Q&A phase right now. The point will come where everybody's settled in, everyone's in their rotators. We've identified the people who are not active and they're removed. And then we'll, you know, it'll be more of me, you know, teaching specific topics that I'm seeing coming up or trends that are coming up. But right now it's more Q&A. We're at the phase right now where you guys should be reaching out Upline to people on the Google Sheet. I would send no more than 2 Facebook messages and 1 email. No more than 2 Facebook messages and 1 email over like a period of a week, and or a week and a half. And if you, let's just say a week and a half, just to give them a little bit extra time. And if you haven't heard from somebody after 2 Facebook messages and an email over a span of at least a week and a half, then you want to Facebook message me. If possible, if you're a friend with that other person, go ahead and include them in the group chat and say, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of so-and-so to get me added. I'm not hearing back. Or if someone responded, oh, I'm not active anymore, then you would let me know in a group chat. If you can't bring them into the group chat, you just let me know. Let me know what's going on, because I want to remove people from this that aren't participating as quickly as possible so we can get down to business. So that's the phase we're in now. You're reaching Upline, getting added, you're letting me know if people are inactive or responding in a way that indicates that I need to know, because they're not active or not responding in a way that is necessary for us to run. And then those of you who are being reached out to, you're adding people into your rotator, and we're getting it indicated on this list. So like you see here, Michael Glass is in Richard and Chris Cunningham's rotators, and he can get added up to 10. We see here that Ed Cox is in Chris, James, Sam and Cindy's, Richard's, Michael's, and Addison's rotator. He can get added to 3 more. So this is really a Q&A period, so start raising your hands if you have any questions about the 10 Upline Marketing Rotators. I don't really want to ever talk about 10 Upline Marketing Rotators anywhere other than this weekly session, which typically is Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern, or in the 10 Upline Marketing Rotator Development Facebook chat group. With that said, during this blitz period, which is about a 3-month period, a 90-day period, I don't even want to answer too many questions about it in here. Now, you can ask them in here, others might answer, I may come in and answer, but mostly so I can stay focused on the blitz and connecting with people on Zooms and helping you guys build. And for those of you in the new lead source, I can wrap up the darn video that I'm working on and get those leads launched. And you know, that's good for everybody, because that creates momentum for everybody in the organization, even if you're not participating in that. I want my focus there on the blitz, during the blitz. So I'm not going to be overly active in this 10 Upline Rotator Marketing Development Facebook chat group, other than to post reminders and links to these events. I will answer questions from time to time. You can ask questions, and the group, you know, can help you. And it is a resource, but most of your questions between the splits period that require my attention, I want to answer them in this group. If you can't get on one week, then get on the next. If you can't get on the next or the next, then get on the next. Again, this is a long-term and middle-range strategy that rewards those that are following through long-term, and that over time will have an accumulative compounding benefit to those who participate, not to mention additional support on marketing development and business development and growth, and getting my feedback and support and perfecting and improving your ability to grow quickly, which doesn't have to be hard. It does not have to be hard. Okay, so it can be really easy and fun, guys. Like it's really quite remarkable. You know, and now I've done it two ways, so I see it from all sides. Like from a marketing perspective, that is like hard work. Working leads is hard work if you're relying solely on it and you're spending a lot of money and you're on top of it, because you got to totally be on top of it, like list management and stuff, and keeping track of who opened emails and who didn't, and who's in your left, left leg that you referred, and who's in your right, and targeting the message. So like, for example, somebody just signed up as a director in my right leg. And now right now I'm not on top of it because I'm focusing on connecting. But when I was doing the marketing side, working leads, I would need to contact everybody often about the director that's going to jump them before Thursday. And, and I need to have the list separated. So I would contact the people in the right leg about that news, but I wouldn't contact the emails on my left. Like there's a lot of like just management that makes it kind of not as fun, but the growth is fun. And as a supplemental method to grow your business, it can be great. And there's different ways to leverage it. Like, for example, if somebody signs up as a director in your right leg, you don't have to, if you don't have time, you can just email them all and just say, be sure to log in and check if you have any jumpers. I know some of you do, but it's stronger when you can separate the pre-enrollees on your left and right by keeping track, like on your own Google spreadsheet or something. And I would just email the people on the right and say, you guys have a director underneath you that just came in. I might even tell them more details. I shared all those emails with you guys. It's very effective, as I proved, getting on the leaderboard time after again. Challenge is not very duplicatable. Connector role, highly duplicatable. And now I'm doing that role, and connecting with you guys. And, I'm just seeing this, it's just so much lighter and simpler and easier. But I know a lot of people avoid the connector role. I mean, first of all, you don't want to go to friends and family, perhaps, which I totally understand. I wouldn't either, for my own reasons. I don't like the vibe, it's a slow vibe. If you have a high vibe circle, then it would make sense to reach out to them. I have a lot of friends and people in my circle that I developed over the years through business, and obviously I would reach out to them. The thing is, I had such a big email list because I've been doing what I teach you guys for a while. And so all I have to do is send out an email and I'm reaching my warm market, basically. And, everything I've been teaching you guys in the marketing role is everything I've been doing. It clearly works. You just need to do it long enough for it to benefit you. So many people just don't stick with something long enough. It's just so silly. Or they kind of do, they're in and they're out. It's like life doesn't work that way. Like it's going to reward those that are consistent. So marketing role works really well. The connector role works phenomenally well. Those that don't have either the confidence or aren't surrounded by high vibe people can't immediately jump into the connector role, if they don't have like a butterfly personality, which I don't. And so the marketing role is fantastic at creating momentum. We got Aaron Parker's free strategy on Facebook for those that don't have money for the marketing role I used, but want to step into like a marketing role that's free, that just allows you to immediately start connecting with people. And he literally gives you verbatim what to say. I've shown my own version of that too on videos, and I will again. So there's lots of things we can talk about to help boost your guys' momentum. It's absolutely incredible how easy it is, and it really is. People say don't use the word easy because it's not easy, and it's like, but it is easy. It is easy. It really is. It really is easy. And so what's in the way? I think a couple of things come to mind. If you're not in massive momentum, it's probably some kind of fear that you got to work through. And we hear that a lot. And it's hard to sometimes pinpoint what the fear is. And I'm not even sure that you need to pinpoint what the fear is, but I think you just have to recognize like apprehension, or if you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you think you're doing what I am saying to do, or you think you're doing what Robert said to do, or you think you're doing what Aaron Parker said to do, but it's not bringing a result, there's something you're not doing, and there's some kind of blinder that you're keeping on to prevent you from seeing what it is that you're doing differently. And it might be subtle. I think a lot of times it's not connecting with people. It's like being a robot. And if people feel that you're being a robot, they don't feel special. And if they don't feel special, meaning you're not really communicating to them, you don't really, in that moment that you're connecting with them or sending that email response or whatever, they feel or sense that you're treating them like a cog in the wheel. I think that that's probably where most people are going wrong, which is why this new Robert Hollis approach is so important, because I think I was applying a lot of that in even my marketing role. And even though you could be sending the same emails I am, if you're not sensitive to the timing of things, if you're not sensitive to the people on your list and you're just thinking of them as a list, they can feel that. And it's really, it has to do with how you respond when they write something. It has to do with how fast you respond. It has to do with, if you didn't respond fast enough because you were busy, how you come back and address that. When you decide to win, I'll sum it up this way, and then we'll move into any questions and stuff specific to this. When you decide to win with this, when you truly decide, and you relax in that, like you just know that you will, because you decided truly, that becomes really, really attractive to people. Now you're going to do the things that make that happen because you decided that you will. It doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean you won't miss appointments you set, or something didn't happen in your personal life. Something will happen in your personal life that prevented you from responding when you maybe otherwise should have. All of that's okay, but then it's how you return and how soon you return and what you're doing in your spare time. And it's all of this stuff. Again, once you've decided to win, you really can't go wrong. It's a way of being. It's just, it become, once you're there, once you've made that true decision, guys, it truly has become easy. And I will only say this, if it's not easy, it means you haven't fully decided to win. And you might push back on that. Think, no, I have decided. People have said this to me. But then I would hear them later, and I knew that they didn't decide previously, because they wouldn't be saying what they're saying now if they had decided it before. Decide, and it gets really easy. Like, this is what you're going to do. This is what you do, and then it comes down to learning. Learning what? Learning how to make whatever it is you're doing simpler and simpler and simpler. Like, for example, when I decided to get on the top of the leaderboard, it was simpler to keep track of the pre-enrollees on the left and the right. It was simpler because I had decided to get on the leaderboard, and it would be much easier to get on the leaderboard, much, if I just started to keep track of pre-enrollees on the left and the right. That's just one example. Whatever you decide to do, if you decide to win in My Daily Choice and you truly decide, it's going to become easy to do it and start building momentum very, very quickly. So explore that. Stay close to, if you're in the new lead source, obviously stay close to me and me continually kind of showing you how I did so well with leads. And because I'll keep working with you guys who are in the lead group. If you're not, then you're going to want to, a lot of people have gravitated to Aaron Parker's free strategy, but it's like, listen carefully to what I'm going to say if you have gravitated to the Aaron Parker free messenger strategy. Something I notice. The people that have gone there often, they're like attending all these events that Aaron does, watching all these webinars that Aaron does, but you're not actually contacting a lot of people per day as he showed you how to do. It's like, if you're gonna follow Aaron Parker's free messenger strategy, all you really should be paying attention to is connecting to people with the free messenger strategy. And how many people did you reach out to today, tomorrow, the next day? That's 90% of your focus and time. You're not following Aaron Parker's strategy if you're not doing that. And you're just listening to his other things and all the stuff going on over there, which totally has nothing to do with what got him where he is. What got him where he is reaching out and connecting with people every day. If you're going to use that strategy, that free messenger strategy, how many people did you connect with today? If you want this to be easy, then you need to connect with a lot of people every day, which is really easy to do on Facebook Messenger. And then you can say to me, well, I don't know what to do next. Well, I think Aaron shows you exactly what to do next. If you want my input on what I would do, you can come to me and say, okay, here's the messages I've been sending. You know, here's what people are sending back or not sending back. What am I doing wrong, or what do I do next? And you're going to get that support. There's really only 3 levels of Aaron Parker's strategy: reaching out, responding to those who respond, and posting Facebook messages that speak directly to them. I mean, I can teach you those 3 things. He teaches those 3 things. It becomes really easy when you actually do it. Because if you think about it, like, you can reach out to 100 people a day off of like an hour a day. And after a week, that's 700 people. And after a month, it's like 3,000 people. Guys, it's not going to take long before you have tons and tons of people reaching back and like opting in as pre-enrollees. It's just a matter of doing it, and then it's easy. Anyway, so that's Aaron Parker's strategy. You know, what I'd say to everybody else is, you know, latch on to Robert Hollis. He's a master genius at keeping it simple and duplicatable. And so, yeah. So between the marketing, Aaron Parker's prospecting strategy, which can still be highly effective as long as you turn it into connecting later, which is natural to do if you're doing it right. Just do it, and that will happen. And Robert Hollis is just straight to the point connecting strategy. Once you decide to win here, it's so darn easy. So anyway, with all that said, let's open up Q&A. Go ahead. I got Tony's hands up. Anyone else with any questions about the 10 upline marketing rotators, or any general questions about improving your marketing or your results? Go ahead and raise your hand. Before I connect with Tony here in a second, I just want to say one more thing about those of you who want this to become easy and fun and lots of growth and money coming in, and like just all of a sudden you're just doing fantastic. Before you ask questions, like, it's fine to ask questions, but I'm going to be wondering, like, if you're not seeing a lot of growth, and you're in momentum, or at least like you're in the early phases of it, you know exactly what's going on for the most part, like you're on your way. If you're still in doubt or confused or not sure what you're doing wrong and all that, so just, I want to know, and I want you guys to start asking yourself, like, are you really connecting with a lot of people each day? And if the answer is no, I don't know how, okay, how much effort have you really put into finding Aaron Parker's training? You know, and just honing in on that and doing it. I just don't think, not too many hours. It's not going to take long to find it. So something else is going on. Fear of success, maybe. Okay, let's open it up to Tony. Tony, you out there? I got you. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Just clarification. The rotator that's in My Daily Choice, when you add people in your downline to the rotator, does it matter in the drop-down box? There's like 20 or 30 different capture pages you can use. Does it matter which one you use? Can you put more than one person on the same rotator?
You can have a different page for each person if you want to, but I don't overthink it too much, but okay. You could. So I'm going to go to, I want to go to my rotator. Let's see here. Tools.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, what I'm going to do is go to my website. I'll just show you something real quick. So there is no right or wrong answer. I don't know how many of you were on Candace's MDC training last night, who's Robert's top earner in his downline, or one of them. She's a 250K affiliate. And she's talking about how it's really all about the products. Lead with the products is basically what I kept hearing. And she has a whole system and process for that. And then Robert will say over and over again, he never leads with the product. So there are so many ways to build the business that all work, just once again proving that it's not about having the right answer, because those are two completely different answers. And the same thing is here. Like, I'm not sure it matters all that much, but Robert did say he doesn't use the CBD one because he feels like some people might have a negative connotation to CBD. Whereas for me, I often lead with the CBD one, and I've done well. So pick the one you want to, keeping in mind Robert never uses the CBD one, and that's the one I've done the best with. The other one I use is this one, because it seems the most generic in terms of not really leading to any preconceived ideas. It says, live on your own terms. So I've been kind of toddling now between this one and the CBD one, and I don't really have a preference between the two. Robert never uses the CBD one, and his answer is it doesn't really matter. He doesn't really care which one he uses. He's just having people get in here. So Tony, short answer is you can choose a different lead capture page if you have a reason. For each individual in your rotator, I don't think that deeply about it anymore. And I'm toddling between this one and the CBD one. And I just kind of keep my eye on which one gets the best results. And I haven't been able to pinpoint which one gets a better result. Seems about the same so far.
Okay, so if I was using this one, for example, I can put 5 or 6 people in the rotator under this particular capture page.
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
You choose for each person.
Okay, so my next question is, I'm getting a lot of hits on Messenger right now, and
from what?
From people sending me Facebook requests for friends. So I connect with them. We start an initial conversation, and I'm getting a lot of results. My question is, can I put all of those people in my rotator, or should I just keep them?
You mean people signing up?
Yeah. I'm going to Messenger. I'm getting pre-enrollees, and I want to take those pre-enrollees that I'm starting to develop relationships with and just put them in my traffic rotator so they go down line.
I'm not quite following. So,
okay, let's say.
Let me clarify your terminology.
Okay.
You can't put a pre-enrollee in your rotator.
Right.
I know you know that, so I just want to make sure you use a terminology that doesn't say that.
Let's say you and I connect. You send me a Facebook friend request. I connect with you, and then you request information. And then I send you my traffic rotator link.
I mean, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Because you're not going to be the enroller.
Right. I understand that.
And we want to get you to, I mean, do you want to get to super affiliate someday?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So you want to be the enroller for a lot of people.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because the way it works is you have to have, to get to, let's say 250K affiliate, you have to have 250,000 volume that you personally referred. And you need it, you can't have more than half of that from one person to count. And so let's say you're putting people in your rotator, and so you're not going to have a lot of frontline people. And so it could end up where you have a whole bunch of people that went into one of your lines. I don't know if you're following that, but if I'm not hard to explain, but you could have a whole bunch of people in one line. It just makes it harder for you to get to 250K. Now, with that said, you don't need to go crazy with it. It's just, you're also, on top of that, you're also not getting the enroller bonus if you put them all in the rotator.
Right. I understand that as well.
And so it's like, it's like, we want to reward people who should be rewarded. If you do it the way you're doing it, the way you're talking about, I think you're going to end up rewarding a lot of people that just aren't going to pay it forward and aren't going to do anything with it and aren't going to appreciate it.
Okay.
We don't want to give that much away.
Okay. No, I just want clarification because I'm starting to blow up with pre-enrollees. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing it the best way for me.
And the other problem would be they would be falling into people's second lines. And so all of those pre-enrollees wouldn't be stacked in a line. And so they'd be spread out. And so they wouldn't get as excited.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would recommend just keeping you as the enroller with all of that work you're doing. You're the enroller, so they're falling down in a straight line. That gets them more excited. And then, yeah, you have your people in the rotator that, that are a part of this program. I would use MLGS leads as your income starts to go up and you're putting 10% into the rotator. You would put that into like our new lead source or other marketing, maybe solo ads to help them with their second legs with those things. As time goes by, as we move forward and this organization matures, I suspect you're going to be one of our top producers. And so it's going to be very valuable to be in your rotator. Because as a top producer who's making good income, you're going to be putting more money into your rotator than somebody who's not a top producer.
Right.
And at that point, and as that starts to mature, we're going to want to move people out of your rotator who aren't producing, who aren't doing much, because you're going to be a valuable producer. And we're going to want to put people into your rotator who are the most, that are in your downline, who are the top producers.
Okay.
So that's where it's going to go over time. So we want to do everything we can to reward the producers and encourage people to become producers so they can benefit more from the rotators of producers. So yeah, and then fast answered your question. I know I'm repeating here, but just to make sure it's super clear, no, I would not recommend all those pre-enrollees that you're creating going into the rotator. Drive those down in the one line with you and the enroller. That's going to make it more favorable for you to move up rank. And it's going to motivate the pre-enrollees you're bringing in because they're going to see people falling underneath them. It's going to allow you to get on the leaderboard, which you should, so your team can see that what you're doing is working. There's a lot of factors that start to fall into place when you're the enroller. At the same time, let's drive some traffic into the people in your rotator. As your income goes up, we'll keep doing that. And as you make more and more money and you're generating more leads for your team that's in your rotator, we'll start to make sure that the top producers are rewarded by being in your rotator, which will be very, very valuable.
Okay. Just a housekeeping thing on the Google Sheets. Are you still wanting us to do our own Google Sheets or just add everybody on the master Google Sheet?
If you referred them, you'll want to have them on your own Google Sheet.
Okay. Do we still need to add them to the master sheet? Because I'm in your other leg, so I'm going to do down there.
I'm really wanting to only have the people I've personally referred on this Google Sheet.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not manageable. So yeah, I'm trying to see. I know we had some people that had gotten on here that I didn't refer. It looks like I think they've been removed since then. I'm not 100% sure, but no, I don't want anybody on this sheet that I didn't personally refer. Create your own Google Sheet for that, and then you'll just instruct them. if you only have like, if you sign somebody up that you referred and they're on your Google sheet and they're not on my Google sheet, let's call the person John, and he's on your second level. In order for him to find 10 uplines, he might have to go to my Google sheet. So you would just show them start looking from here up.
Yeah, if you look on the bottom of this, where you're at right now, Aaron Chappell's on the bottom, and he's one of my executives.
Yeah, so he doesn't really need to be here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Yep. Thanks for answering my questions.
Yeah, really good. I'm glad you asked. It's a great question. Okay, let's go to Greg. Greg Brewer, are you out there?
Yeah, Mike, can you?
I could hear you, but you got muted there right when you started talking. There you are. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
Kind of crazy. I have to hold down the space key to be unmuted, but that's okay.
Oh, okay, weird.
It is weird. Yeah, the other one just says unmute, but this that template doesn't do it. Anyway, real quick, I've been in 8 months. I'm not making any money, which that's all on me. Thanks to you, I've got like 200 auto ships in my left leg, the strong leg. I've got about 200.
I'm going to cut you off just for a second because I want everybody, if anyone ever tells me they've been in 8 months and aren't making any money, make sure the very next thing you say is, how many people you've connected with, and those kinds, your side of the equation. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that becomes the main part of the conversation, like right away. If you're going to start that way, I want us to teach that.
Okay, and I understand that. So I have, I've been buying leads. I have 226 pre-enrollees in my right leg. I got one.
But again, how many have you connected with? How many have you been able to connect with?
Well, just through emails. I email them every week. Okay,
but that doesn't count. The emailing leads to connection. But is there any connection going on or zero connection?
Well, I got one free affiliate on 4th of July. You probably saw that post. I found her on Facebook. Tried to connect there. Nothing yet. She didn't have her phone number, so I texted her.
So where are you getting these leads? So I want to just make sure this is clear to everybody. If I'm doing something that's bringing in pre-enrollees and I'm sending emails and it's leading to no connection, I'm going to change what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to connect or nothing. So where are these leads coming from? Solo ads?
Solo and all solo, yeah.
So these are the worst leads in the world. Still a great thing to do if you have no other clue. Great thing to do. Lots of signups have come in. I just saw someone came in at 1,000 BV and wants to build a business from somebody's solo ad. But which solo ad provider you use is everything. So if you're getting pre-enrollees from a solo ad provider and those leads aren't connecting with you, don't use that solo ad provider anymore. Basically nothing's happening if you're not connecting.
Okay.
You're just toiling. And the toiling can lead to learning which solo ad provider, in this case, not to use. But that's where you're at. Like, you're still searching for a way to connect with people. And so my question would be to you, who's the most successful person you know? I mean, do we want to get down to business? Like, who's the most successful person you know? Who drives the nice car? Who does everybody respect? Who are you afraid to call? And if you can't think of anybody, or you're not willing to reach out to that person or refer that person to Robert Hollis or me to start creating real immediate connection, then we got to start going back to, reaching out to people who are also afraid, who are also hiding, which solo ad people are going to be the ones who are hiding, the most. MLGS probably even more. So that's why they're the least expensive. They're the least valuable in the marketplace. People who hide, people who are afraid to connect. This whole experience, guys, is a phenomenal, just like experience of personal development and personal growth and realizing why things are the way they are. And letting someone decide if they want to grab that higher rung in the ladder and pull it up. It's all about connecting. It's the only thing it's about. And Greg, I want to come back to your question and let you continue. This is so important. The marketing role, what I was doing was spending a lot of money to drive a lot of leads. And because I was able to create a lot of excitement and I was really, really emailing all the time on top of spending a lot of money, I was able to create enough excitement to create a lot of connections. And the connections where people would sign up at director or executive, and that would be where my connection would begin. In many cases, I was also driving a lot of traffic, so people would ask a lot of questions, and that would create some connections. It was all about connections. If I ever for a moment was doing something that wasn't creating connections, then I would immediately change what I was doing. And in fact, to take this on an even more important point and bigger scale of that same point, when I saw that I can bring in a lot of people, but there wasn't a lot of duplication because most people couldn't afford to do what I'm doing, and I didn't want to encourage them to spend what I'm spending because I didn't want that liability, I realized I had to change. Like, this is what I mean. Like, if you're doing something and it's not creating enough connections, you have to change what you're doing to create more connections. If you're doing solo ads, that could mean you need to change the solo ad providers you're using. If you're just not finding any hotspots, now people have, and I have, but I can't share the exact solo ad provider because then everyone will pounce on them and saturate it, and it won't be good anymore. So that's not a good process. People have to kind of, if they're going to use solo ads, you have to search for your own hotbeds. If you're searching and searching and not finding them, you might just want to move to another option. Now I have the new lead source. Greg, are you in the new lead source?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so those are going to turn on. Those are going to be a higher quality lead.
Okay.
And how much did you do?
Well, 300 this time.
Okay, and that's cool. And that you're kind of getting experience of what those are like. They'll be better leads than the solo ad leads. It's less consistent on the price, and solo ad leads are extremely cheap, and who knows what kind of goofy things they do to drive so many leads for so cheap. The point is, whatever you're doing, if it's not creating connections, you have to do something different to create connections. It's all about connections. So I just want to make that clear. Like, nothing's happening if connections aren't happening. And if you're going to the cheapest, easiest methods to try to generate leads, you're running a high risk of no connections happening because those people are on those lists and are accessible for so inexpensively because they are the least valuable, financially the least valuable people in the world. Because they are hiding, they are afraid to connect. And so they're therefore not developing skills of connection. They're probably not developing any personal development skills, which is not very valuable in the marketplace. So, everything makes sense. Those that are willing to, for example, do Aaron Parker's strategy of reaching out and connecting on Facebook, immediately moving to connection, those are going to be much better leads. The people who respond back, they're not hiding. They're not afraid of connection. And particularly the way I showed it, where you're going to Eric Worre videos or Tony Robbins videos and looking for people commenting and engaging there. Now you're already immediately tapping into people that aren't just connecting and aren't just out in the limelight, unafraid to connect with the world, but they're actually investing into personal development. So now you're on a whole nother level. I mean, we're just talking like you just improved your results by 1,000 times. So you got to think in these terms, and you got to think in terms of connecting. You got to think in terms of who you're connecting with, and realize that if you're not connecting, you're not really doing anything. So let me just say one more way. If I had advertised a bunch of money on some ads, and this has happened before, lots of times, and I got a bunch of pre-enrollees and I'm sending a bunch of emails, but it's not leading to connecting, like I might test it one more time, but if that happens again, I'm not going to do that anymore. Now, but it doesn't mean I'm going to quit. I'm going to do something else.
Right.
It's like I'm going to go until I find out how to create connections. So I just wanted to make sure that's clear. Like to everybody here, if you're not creating connections, then you have to try something else till you are. Like, it's all about connections, and that's all the conversation really should be about, is how do I create more connections? Anyway, so Greg, I just had to say that because people, I think, are feeling like they're doing something or they're spending money, but if connections aren't happening, that's just telling you what not to do. You're not not actually doing anything yet that would lead to results.
Okay. I mean, I'm like you. I don't like bugging family and friends. I've done it in other businesses and kind
Yeah.
of burnt my bridge. But I like Robert's, connect and see if they know somebody that might be interested.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to try. I know some 8s and 9s. And maybe I'll try and do it that way. And then
Give me an example. Who's an 8 or a 9 that you know?
I have a lady that was in legal and identity services that's now an insurance business. She's built a multi-million-dollar business.
Okay.
Another fellow that was in legal services came in under her, and they're both generating a lot of money. And this is in the insurance business.
So send me a Facebook message right now. Remind me of that. Let's talk to Robert Hollis.
Okay.
And let's start beelining towards what you want.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Absolutely. And that goes for everybody. And again, and this doesn't mean we can't use marketing. This doesn't mean you can't reach out to people you don't know, like Aaron Parker's strategy, because he got to 500K affiliate that way. It's just, for those of you that are just ready to get it done, I want you to start to see, just how it all works, how the world works, who gets paid the most money. They're the ones that are unabashedly the ones willing to connect, not sell, not prospect, not pitch, not try to get somebody, but just connect. Robert Hollis is a genius at making that simple and not awkward. So those that are ready to do that, we can get right to it and magic can happen. And so each of you that are, like Greg knows somebody who's an 8, 9, or 10, Facebook message me right now if you haven't already. If you sent one more than a week ago and I didn't get back, send it again right now. We can beeline right to it. Now, those that aren't willing to do that, or you want to supplement that, maybe you have a few of those, but you don't have hundreds of them, then we got Aaron Parker's strategy, which can be super effective. And we have the new lead source that I'm doing. And again, there are some good people in the solo ads, but you've got to test different solo ad providers to find the good ones. If someone's not, if you do 2 runs with a solo ad provider and you're not connecting with people, or someone's signing up as a free affiliate, but you're not hearing from them ever, probably need to try a different lead source. Now, with that said, sometimes it's what you're saying or not saying that is making people not reach back out. So Greg, in your case, when we connect, and this goes for everybody, if you're reaching out to people and they're not responding back, I want to see what you're sending them. We want to try sending them some different things. I'd like to see, Greg, what you sent your free affiliate, because maybe I can show you what you could say differently that would get them to respond. It really needs to sound really specific to what they want, which is money. And so it needs to be something like, in your case, Greg, because they signed up as a free affiliate, it needs to be, hey, Scott, or whoever it was, hey, Scott, saw you signed up. I could introduce you to Mike Klingler, who's made 6 figures in this company already this year. I could also put you in touch with a millionaire in our company. You don't need to pay any money. You're already a free affiliate. You can make money at that level. Let me know if you want to work with us to get a check right away.
Okay, yeah, and that's exactly what I sent to them, because that's what you had suggested.
And you sent it by email and by Facebook?
Email and by text, by their phone number.
I mean, so if you're not going to hear back from them after that, then you just move on. And like I say, if that's all you're getting from a solo ad provider, it doesn't count. You measure the success of the lead source based on the connections it's creating.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, send me that message and let's get at it. I think you're going to find it's a lot more fun and a lot easier than you may have ever imagined.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, talk to you soon, Greg.
Thank you.
Clinton, how you doing, Clinton?
Well, and you, Mike?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I just got 2 questions. Well, one is, I'm not sure how the different levels, 1 to 10 levels, are completed on the sheet. Maybe I missed it because I'm not in the messenger group. You probably put something in there.
If you're on the 10 marketing rotator sheet, but you're not in the Facebook group, be sure to email our support group and ask to get in there in the Facebook chat group for 10 marketing rotators. Do that right away.
Then I can catch up with
it. The way this works is, let me see if I can, are you on this sheet somewhere?
I am, yeah, on the bottom 100 and something. There I am. You had me highlighted.
Yeah,
the
one
bottom.
sec here. Okay. So, you know, any of these people above you, Lori, Kim, Dean, all the way up to Richard, you can contact them, reach out to them on Facebook message and email. Email them no more than once, Facebook message them no more than twice, and let them know you'd like to be added into their rotator.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's real simple. And then once you get added to their rotator, that would get indicated over here, right here. Boom, boom.
You would lie there first, obviously, in the number one.
Say that again. Wait, are you in my rotator?
I don't think so, but directly under you.
Say that again.
I'm directly under you. I signed up under you directly, so I'm not sure if I'm in your rotator.
Well, it doesn't go by who referred you, because otherwise I would have 600 people in my rotator, which wouldn't be much value to people. So it goes by where you are in the line. So yeah, so these are the people you would reach out to.
Oh, okay.
Up to 10. You know, and being in my rotator isn't necessarily any more valuable than anybody else's, because right now I've got like 75 in it. It's not, and that went to my first 100 people I signed up, and some people have dropped out or didn't fulfill their end. So you don't think it's better to be in my rotator. I have so many people in there. It isn't necessarily better than some of these other rotators will turn out to be. So
Right.
yeah, just reach out to these people and get into 10 of them, and let me know if somebody doesn't reach back or answer positively, so I can get them off this sheet. This Facebook message me. And it's not like being mean or anything. We just need people on this sheet who are wanting to do what we're doing.
Right.
And they, you know, by the way, a lot of people I've removed from this sheet that are still in the community and still want to build a business. They're just not paying attention enough to really, you know, have a position here in the 10 marketing rotators.
Okay.
So let me know. Don't feel like you're tattletelling or anything. Like, we just need to find out who's not responding favorably, or if someone says they're not paying attention, like, you need to let me know, and I might talk with them. But we need to make sure this is our solid team. This is a long-term strategy, and we need a solid team on this one.
Okay.
Okay, awesome, Clinton. Yeah, perfect.
Good. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then last one, we'll go to Michael Hanley. Aloha, Michael.
Aloha, Mike. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I'm actually glad Greg went before me. You guys got me all psyched with that conversation.
Right on. Right on.
I was, because I really was kind of in the same position that he was. I think it's been about 6 months for me. And, you know, wasn't seeing much going on, had like 200, 300 pre-enrollees, and just got my first director last week, or about a week and a half ago now, I think.
Have you done a Facebook group chat introducing me to them?
I did. I haven't heard back from you yet, Mike, but I know you.
Okay, so if you guys send me a message like that and you don't hear back from me within 4 days, message me again.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna have some protocols, you know, so that things don't slip through the cracks. That's one of them. If you guys send me a message, by the way, specific to well, let me be really clear. You don't Facebook message me and say, "Hi, Mike, I signed up a director. I really want you to meet them." No.
Yeah, no.
I'm not talking to you, Michael, but just everybody listening. You do a group chat. And you say, in the group chat, you include the person you want to introduce me to, me, you, and you say, you know, "Hi, Mike, wanted to introduce you to so-and-so. They just signed up a director," or whatever it is, or they just came in as a pre-enrollee, and then you edify me. You always edify. You know, Mike is a 6-figure earner in their company. He can help you get to an income quickly, or whatever you know their goal is. You speak in their terms. And then you tell me about them. "Mike, this is so-and-so. I met them here. Here's why I think they're awesome." And then I take it from there. If you do a chat like that and I don't get back within 4 days, send me a side message then saying, "Mike, I sent you a group chat 4 days ago, didn't hear back. Just wanted to make sure you saw it." And then give me a link to the chat group. And you get links just like it's just a URL. You go to the chat group, you copy the URL. So there's lots of little protocols like that make things real efficient and keep things from falling through the cracks. But anyway, Michael, be sure to do that right after this call.
Got it. Will do. Will do. Yeah, the connecting thing has just lit a fire under me. Your new energy with this has lit a fire under me.
Yeah, me too.
It really has. Like, I mean, I don't know how you have new energy because you've always been off the charts as it is, but you can definitely even hear it in your voice. You are just, and it's catchy. So thank you.
I mean, I see a direct path to at least super affiliate, like just direct. Yeah. Like to me, it's like, it's so easy now. Whereas before, I knew that duplication was an issue because I knew people couldn't spend the kind of money that I did. I didn't even want to encourage it. So I knew we had to move into something else somewhere. And I wasn't quite sure, was it going to be Aaron Parker's strategy, Robert Hollis's strategy, someone outside our organization? I knew I had some things to learn, but I wanted to launch with what I knew because it obviously is awesome too. It's just not as awesome as this. So merging the two worlds, yeah, it's gotten me really excited too.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is merging it all and being able to really pick and choose exactly, you know, even with the different prospects that we get, which strategy to use, you know. But
totally
driving to the connecting part of it for all of them. So yeah, it's really hit home for me big time.
Awesome.
And
yeah, you have natural. You're a great connector. You know, you just didn't know how to put that into this. But I mean, I've
been hiding. So
yeah.
Ever since I left Ritz Carlton, I've been hiding, and I was literally hired for that job because I was good at relationships.
Yeah, right.
and I haven't done it since. And that brings me to my point with the question. Well, from a rotator standpoint, I think I finally got that tackled. I have my rotator started. Everyone that requested is in. I'm excited to be able to bring in some money to actually start it.
So Michael, just really quick, and did you put your name next to their name as that they're in your rotator?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good work.
Everything's in there, and I just have to let them know for sure that they're in. They knew I was doing it, but I got to let them know.
Okay, cool. And then create a group chat with them, okay? And this goes for everybody. Create a group chat with the people that you have in your rotator, and keep an eye on them. And you don't need to be militant about it, but like if people aren't doing anything, like, you know, as time goes on and your rotator becomes more valuable, you know, you and I need to talk about that, because if you're continuing to grow and your income's growing and your rotator becomes more valuable, you don't want someone in your group who's not producing, not paying attention. So just keep your eye on them.
Yeah, will do for sure. Yeah, so actually I was just a real quick question about that. Do you have any particular suggestion as far as when we should start that? Like what income, you know, what level we need to be at?
We're going to talk about that. Like, let me just give you an example. Let's say you and I meet this director. Let's say I introduce you to Robert Hollis, which, by the way, I want to do. Remind me in the chat to set up a session between you, Robert Hollis, and I.
Okay.
And it goes for everybody who is ready, who has a fire under their tail, who is going to make this happen. I want to introduce you to Robert Hollis. We're just working through this process, guys. We have a lot of great people on this team. Like, we could do something insane. This is crazy. So, but we're going to work through it. Those of you that have decided, like, you let me know. If you don't hear from me in 4 days, you let me know again. Okay. Michael, what was your question?
I'm gonna get my question was like any particular level that we should be at before we start our marketing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say I introduce you to Robert Hollis, and the director you just brought in takes off, or introduces somebody who takes off. Your income's going to skyrocket quickly.
Yeah.
So at that point would be the point in which we have that discussion.
Okay, cool.
Something's going to happen, and it starts to happen fast once you guys get in the flow of this. And Robert Hollis has everything to do with it. Quite frankly, you know, I'm not by trade a network marketer. By trade, I'm an online marketer. I have things to unlearn. There are huge advantages, but Robert Hollis is a master connector. He's even like beyond, he's not even a network marketer. He's a master connector. And it's like, it's almost impossible to put into words how much of a genius he is at it. He downplays it because he knows that it has to be simple. And so he doesn't do anything that others can't do. And so, you know, that's what he's a master at, is making it simple. So we want to, you know, anyone who's serious, you want to be around Robert. I'm not the man anymore. I'm not the guy. Robert's the guy. Now, at the same time, I'm a fast learner. And I've been working with him for 2.5 weeks. And like you're saying, Michael, you notice even like my voice is different. The way I talk is different. Yeah, the way I feel all friggin' day long is different. And I attribute that to Robert Hollis.
Well,
so we want to surround it.
I think it awakens something, kind of same thing with me. It kind of awakens something in you that hadn't been awakened in a while.
Yeah, I think it's called. It's like, I don't think I've ever had it awakened. I mean, when I've made a lot of money, 7 figures, couple 8-figure years, it was always pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I didn't know it was hard. I thought it was just, you know, what you needed to do. But what he has shown me is what every highly successful person has found in any industry who makes a lot of money and is really happy and really enjoys it and laughs a lot through the whole thing.
I know, I love him.
You know, and like, I'm still aligning with it. I'm still aligning with it, but it's the right path, man. It is definitely the right path.
That's awesome. Yeah, he reminds me a lot of the executives and the mentors actually that I worked with in Ritz-Carlton, like the top sales guys.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And which brings me to my last question is, and I think you just answered it with just getting on the phone with him. I haven't even had it in my head that I would ever want to or desire to contact these past executives and regional execs and these sales guys that were off the charts at Ritz-Carlton with this. And now I do.
Yeah, totally. That's the magic of Robert Hollis. I mean, same thing with me. He's unleashed things in me that I didn't know were there. A level of confidence. I thought I was confident, but he's totally unleashed a whole new side. Same thing here. There's people that I'm reaching out to now, and it's so effortless. It's like, hey, you know, I know you're doing really, you know, obviously doing really well, you know, and that's why I'm reaching out to you, you know, and I just wanted to ask for your help. You know, would you be willing to take a look at some videos of our CEO and see if anyone comes to mind? Because I'm just sure that when you watch this, someone will come to mind. And it's just like so easy. It's just like, it's a whole different way of looking at it. And you're just beelining when here's what you're surrounding yourself and you're reaching out to people who vibrate high. And when you do that, like high vibration things happen.
Which is interesting because my next sentence is that I haven't been in touch with these guys for the last 6 to 7 years. Interestingly enough, those are the 6 and 7 years I've been struggling.
Right. Yeah.
So my whole point was to, you know, I would love to get together with both of you to figure out a way that I can reach out. Most of them I still have contact with on LinkedIn, but I just would love to get an idea of how I can really utilize those relationships.
Send me a Facebook message right now. Remind me of what you just said, and then I'm going to immediately today introduce you to Robert. And that goes for everybody listening, guys. It's really about vibrating higher, and it's about surrounding yourself by a higher vibrational sphere of influence. And it's about reaching out to people who vibrate higher. And as we come across people who vibrate low, which is really what a 1 means, you feel it, they feel it. And by the way, they're not responding because they're scared. They're scared that they can't do a damn thing. And so when you start doing this, like you start knowing how to talk to them to realize, hey, you're not trying to sell them, you're high vibe. And that's just attractive. And like, we no longer try to sell a low vibration person. We find out who they know. I talked to somebody in the Philippines yesterday who Michael brought me, and a different Michael in the group brought me, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying, but I could understand. Yeah, and like, so he already sent me, he sent me 2 people, he said, who were highly successful that he wants me to reach out to. I said, who's the best one? Because you only do one for them. And I'm going to contact that person. And you never know. But, and he's so appreciative. And like, why would I be trying to like get him to spend money that he doesn't have or that he's afraid to spend? It's just, and it's waste my time in the low vibration stuff. Instead, he's now vibrating high. He's excited. And he's promoting. And as he gets pre-enrollees, he'll connect those to Michael and the good ones to me. And it's just, things just go. It's just a really, really cool thing. And again, marketing can help you speed that along. But for those of you who are just done playing around and you want to start vibrating high, start looking at who you know. And if there's anyone that's coming to mind, but you're still timid or not sure how to approach it, reach out to me, let me know, send me a Facebook message, and let's talk to Robert, because things change really quick when you're hanging out with high vibe people. It just does. It's just wild, man. Great conversation, Michael.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike.
Absolutely. I'll look for your Facebook message.
Okay.
All right, guys. One of the things I do need to do is give you guys the protocol for how to connect with me. Don't wait. Like I said, enough of it for you to give it a go right now on Facebook. But little things. I'm just going to run through some of them right now. If you do a group chat with me and I propose a time and then you say, yeah, that works. And then you don't hear me say, cool, here's the link, or, here's what we're going to do next. That works. If you don't hear me confirm again, it means I didn't see your response yet. So don't change your whole schedule around. And that can happen sometimes. I'm still getting in the swing of this thing, but we're going to get it down. We have it down pretty good, but that's one thing to keep in mind. And that can happen more when I'm trying to set an appointment with you really soon. Where you could say, yeah, tomorrow works, but I didn't see your response yet because I got slammed, before tomorrow came. But I'm trying to create a process where this gets easier and easier. And it's working really well, but just keep that in mind. The other thing is, right now, I send the Zoom link right before we start. So you'll say, hey, Mike, I want to introduce you to so-and-so. He's a pre-enrollee. And even if they're vibrating low, I'll meet with them at first for now until I'm so slammed, and then we'll find ways to have you guys just bring me the higher vibe people. But for now, I'll even meet with the low vibe pre-enrollees to teach you guys how to do this. And let's say you introduce me to somebody and I say, okay, how about, tomorrow, 2 o'clock Pacific time? And you're like, okay, great. So I'll usually say this, but if I don't remember to, just remember, I'll be sending you and this person we're meeting the Zoom link right before we start, because I don't want to get interrupted with going and setting up the Zoom link. Now, Robert Hollis just uses the same Zoom link for everybody, and I'm testing that out. My concern is sometimes he gets bombed, like people come in that aren't supposed to be there because they get confused about time zones. But he's kind of convinced me that actually even just turns out being a benefit anyway, because then they see that there's all these people interested. So I'll probably switch to that. But if I don't send you the Zoom link after we've confirmed, just remember I have been sending it right before we start. I might change that here soon, but just keep that in mind. Don't panic if I didn't send you the Zoom link. I typically have been sending it right before we start. If you want me to meet with a group of people and you've set up a group chat with all of them in it so we can decide on a time together, I recommend you set up, well, actually, no, let me backtrack, different scenario. If you want to set me up with a group of people, I prefer that you put us all in the group chat, but sometimes they're not all friends with you on Facebook yet or whatever. So if you set up a group call with me and they're not all in that chat, then I can't send the Zoom link that they can all see, right? So if that's the case, and I'm sending you the Zoom link right before we start, just make sure you've told them that, you'll have the Zoom link to them literally minutes before we start. And you should have some fast way to communicate with them, whether they should either all be in a group chat with you, so you could just pin the post there. Ideally, they'd be in mine with you, so we can all talk together. But if that's not happening for some reason, have a way to communicate with them fast, because you should be doing that anyway. And Or you could just have their email addresses all together. So you could just email them real quick and tell them, I'll email you the Zoom link right before we start. Again, I'm probably soon going to switch to how Robert does it, where I just have the same Zoom link. The only disadvantage there is we get bombed sometimes, but I think that the advantage there is better. But for now, just keep that in mind. That's how I do it. And then just a reminder, when we're setting up the time, if I propose a time, 2 o'clock tomorrow, and then you come back and go, sounds good, but you don't hear from me, it means I didn't see your sounds good for whatever reason. Sometimes I get like 50 messages like all at the same time, and it just becomes impossible to find that one. So again, I'm trying to find ways to resolve like all issues. So far it's working pretty darn smoothly, but if you know these things I just shared, it seems to go, that should take care of it. Guys, and again, if you set up a group chat, you didn't hear from me for 4 days, send it again. Let me know. What's that?
I just want to clarify, when you say send me a Facebook message, you're talking about in Messenger, right? Is that the best?
Facebook Messenger, yeah. Yeah, and again, you guys can all reach out to me right now. If you're ready to go, if maybe you're not sure how, but you're ready to vibrate high, and if you know any 8s, 9s, and 10s that you can't even dream to contact, but you're willing to figure it out, you're willing to break through, message me right now so I can introduce you to Robert. We can just totally permanently bump you up in your vibration and how easy and fun this can be. Typically though, when you reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, it would be, other than that, you can send me a message right now, just me and you, to say, yeah, I'm ready to vibrate high. I'd love to meet Robert. I've got some 8, 9s, and 10s. Tell me some things going on. You could even say, I'm afraid to reach out to him, but I mean, wow, wouldn't that be cool if I was the type of person who could? Let's see what happens after I meet Robert. That's cool. Message me right now. But typically, when you message me, it's to do a group chat. It's, Mike, let me introduce you to Sally. I just met Sally yesterday. She came in as a pre-enrollee, and I wanted to introduce her to you, and then edify. Then you say something like, Sally, Mike's a 6-figure earner in the company. He can help you make an income. Like, you need to be clear. They need to hear that stuff. He can help you make an income. Mike, Sally's awesome. Here's why I think so. And then you let me take it from there. So typically in Facebook Messenger, we're doing group chats where you're introducing me to somebody, or a new director who just signed up, or a new free affiliate who just signed up. As we go forward, and this is going to definitely become the case when we have the new lead source turn on, because we got like a $60,000 ad budget. It's going to be insane. I'm going to keep doing these kinds of sessions as much as I can, even with people who might be lower vibration. But as we go, we'll find ways to, to manage that. So for example, if I start getting swamped with low vibe people, I might respond back and just say, yeah, meet me tomorrow at noon. And then like, maybe there's 17 people there and I'm talking to them all at once, whatever, like we'll figure it out. Not a big deal. You're going to quickly see how easy it is to connect with low vibe people. Like, it's so easy because you can get them so excited, because we're not going to be trying to sell them or convince them to do anything they don't want to do anymore. And I never did, but the cool thing is now you can leverage their contacts to help them, and you're going to get that down very fast. And then you're just bringing high vibe people to me and Robert. And this can happen so quickly. Robert is so motivated to get to master affiliate just for the heck of it. He gets a $500,000 single day bonus when he does. And he gets $100,000 a month bonus on top of the entire other compensation plan. And he says, a lot of people think I'm motivated by money. And I believe him when he says I'm not. He goes, I bought a Rolls Royce Ghost quite a few years ago. It sat in a garage. Like, I never drove it. I'm right here. He loves connecting and helping people. Like, he loves like getting to the next level. It's just some personalities do. We want to seize that. So anyway, guys, awesome call today. I am so excited. Thanks for bringing up that you noticed that my vibration is even higher than before, Michael. I feel it. I'm having so much fun. I have so much more energy. I'm so much more in flow. And I just really encourage each and every one of you to look for that. That's the secret to success. And, surrounding ourselves with higher vibe people is the key to that. And looking at the low vibe people with empathy, but not as somebody who this business is right for, but you can still help. Hey, come in at the free level. Cool. Who do you know? Here's how you use the tools. Let me know when you get a pre-enrollee, and then serve those who are doing the work. It's just so easy. It's so incredible. Every 1 knows a 3, every 3 knows a 5, every 5 knows an 8, 9, or 10. So true. All right, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody.